now. Great. So thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone who's on this call. Thank you for joining us today to talk about in-app tracking and affiliate in 2020. So your presenters today, from left to right, will be Alexander Hold. He's a senior manager for business development for Global Savings Group. He's based out of Munich, Germany, and he's going to offer some viewpoints from their perspective. We have the illustrious Aaron Contawe, Director of Product Management on the Rakuten Marketing side, who is our in-house expert on all things in-app tracking. And I am Ivan Pena, or Ivan Pena, depending on who you ask. I'm the Senior Director for Product Adoption for Publisher Tools. So we're hoping to give you some good information here today. We're hoping to have some discussion and share our viewpoints on the obviously importance and relevance of mobile. So, but Alexander, I know you're on the line.
I am on the line. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it'd be great to get a little overview about Global Savings Group before we dive in.
Sure, I'll keep this short because we want to obviously get to the meat of this presentation and into the in-app topic. But Global Savings Group, as a big European player, entered into the American market just in 2018. And have seen tremendous growth. We are a big publishing partner and working with, we're doing primarily coupons, deals, everything in sort of the space of savings. If you jump to next slide, Ivan. We're working in the US with the likes of CNN and Business Insider. So we run two platforms there. So we run the coupons.businessinsider.com and coupons.cnn.com. So two very strong partnerships, and they offer some very interesting products on our platform there, sort of outside of our regular coupons and exposure offering. We also have dynamic, so targeted, personalized coupons, as well as our latest offering, which is rewards and gift cards as an alternative to discounts and sort of our more classical coupon offering. So that's really very short GSG and what we are doing. We are a big global player, and it's been we are the biggest one in Europe, quite big in Asia and Australia, and now so we've also entered into the US market.
That's great. And obviously, as a person in the affiliate space working with content publishers, you know a thing or two about mobile because content consumption is huge on mobile, right? And arguably, and I want to make sure that Aaron also is on the line here. Aaron, if you want to say hi real quick, just make sure that we got your audio.
Yep, you got me. Hey, everyone.
Oh, awesome. So it's no secret that mobile really is something that all of us are trying to still kind of get a handle on, but as consumers, we all live in our devices, right? I can't imagine anybody on this call is not glued to their device as much as I am for work, for personal, for whatever the case might be. But really mobile, when it comes to affiliate, it really is, in my opinion, the most important component in identifying first click attribution, right? Like it's really, if we don't track mobile referrals or click streams, then we're missing out a big component, right? And another thing that's helping with mobile adoption, I think in general, is that consumers are losing their fear of m-commerce, right? Of buying on their phones. That used to be a concern a few years back, but now, that's becoming more and more common, definitely in the US, because it's been more common in the rest of the world, right? And APAC is ahead of a lot of countries or regions when it comes to mobile adoption. Same thing in Europe. Even the US, though, has lost that fear for m-commerce. So I think that we're seeing that data, right? And really, mobile gives us the most direct path to a target audience, right? That is the closest we can get to someone without actually physically showing up in front of them, right? So it's really important that we consider the entire picture and really make mobile kind of the upper funnel, the eyes, right, into the journey. Alexander, Aaron, do you agree with that? Do you have, do you have an opinion, maybe Alexander, if you don't mind?
I can only say that we see exactly the same picture from our end. When I look at the mobile traffic that we are seeing on our platforms, we have passed, I think UK is the high. The latest I looked at was the UK, where we now pass 70% of our visitors come from a mobile device.
Mhm.
In the US, that number is currently 67%.
Wow.
Across our domains on CNN and Business Insider. So it's, I say, people are looking for deals and shopping from their mobile. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And if anyone has kids, I've got two myself, and just the trend in generations and being mobile first, I think it's very apparent, and that'll just continue on. So the next generation of shoppers will be, I think, fairly dedicated to mobile, and that'll be their primary means of interacting with commerce.
Yeah, it makes sense. And affiliates, marketers, using affiliate programs tend to engage right with consumers in every phase of the journey. Right, it's not just affiliate isn't just targeting a specific subset of publishers. Is not only driving new customers, not only driving high purchase intent customers, but it's really a mix. Right, affiliate can be used in every stage of the customer journey. And, as Aaron and Alexander both alluded to, I mean, this is where the eyeballs are. This is where the traffic is, right? So as affiliate marketers, we kind of owe it to ourselves to be open-minded when it comes to approaching mobile with a holistic approach, with a pan-affiliate approach, because that's not what we're seeing in our network, right? We're seeing still a lot of our advertisers and not really including their apps and campaigns and publishers, not necessarily leveraging the capabilities we have. So we're here to tell you that there are options out there for everyone to target consumers wherever you want it, right? So that's why are we ignoring mobile and affiliate? So that's what we're hoping to at least raise the awareness for today. So I'm going to talk through a few mobile trends leveraging some data. So I wanted to highlight what I consider to be the most important e-commerce mobile stats out there. That 77% of Americans own a smartphone. In terms of shopping power, that's 230 million U.S. consumers that can shop through their device, right? Potentially. So that's huge penetration. 79% of smartphone users have made a purchase on their phone in the last 6 months. We're seeing 80% of shoppers have used a mobile phone at a store to enhance their shopping experience. Like we've all done this. And it really is more important to really be able to have that holistic omni-channel approach to mobile, definitely an affiliate, because you're paying for performance. So why not encourage, if anybody's going to be in your store looking at other information, why not encourage partners that are incentivized, really, and motivated to get the information about your brand and the appeal of your brand to their users, right? It makes 100% sense. So there are 10 billion mobile connected devices in use worldwide. I think that number might be even smaller. Bigger now. I think this number is smaller than what it is today. So when it comes to mobile traffic and conversion, right, this is the first step in the affiliate journey. We see traffic growth and conversion, order growth growing by, in mobile specifically over all the other device types, right? Not only that, if you look at on the graph on the left, this is U.S. holiday season retail e-commerce conversion rates by device for December, according to eMarketer. Thanks, eMarketer, for the data. You notice that while, yes, smartphone is still less in terms of conversion rate over tablet and desktop, what you don't see here is that there was a 39% year over year on Cyber Monday alone when it comes to conversion rates for mobile, right? So that is a huge increase year over year. And it's really becoming a sizable piece of the pie, right? This e-commerce order growth by device is showing you that there was a 38.7% year over year change in Q1 of last year when it comes to order growth. And we're going to get new information here soon, right? So we should expect that growth rate to be the same because of those factors we mentioned before, right? People are more comfortable shopping. But really the traffic is up. It was up in the previous years, and now it's even up further with almost 11% growth year over year. And I know that percentage should definitely increase throughout the year and should increase when the numbers come out for Q1 2020. And in the vein of the prediction front that we're here to kind of share, I'm going to share with you the things that I think are going to be game-changing for the affiliate space, or at least that will kind of continue to make these mobile natives consumers a better, more desirable target for affiliates, right? So 5G, if anybody watched the Super Bowl or anybody's been keeping up with Rakuten developments, everyone out there is touting their 5G network capabilities, right? This is going to make high-speed internet, high-speed data ubiquitous. This is huge because then the quality of what we can do with content and the things we can do on devices, it keeps growing, right? And it really will reduce dependency for having a stronger machine, right? A desktop or a laptop or even a tablet. So I think that's going to continue to change there, really kind of augmented by the fact that digital spending by channel for mobile is $100 billion more, roughly for mobile than it is for desktop, right? Like this is going to be a huge opportunity for everyone that has media available, especially performance marketers, to kind of leverage that. Gaming is something that I am personally passionate about as a vertical, and Rakuten's starting to make some inroads there. But really, something that is interesting to me is that gaming is dominated by young females, right? According to this data, is 18 to 24-year-olds, or 29% of this piece, and 63% of that is female. This is a target, highly desirable retail target audience for advertisers on Rakuten Marketing, right? This is the audience that everybody wants to reach via influencers, right? But this is also something you can influence via mobile. And it might be a direct path to that consumer. So it's something to keep in mind, that if you want to target that demographic, you need to be involved in the different mobile channels that are out there. There's something called the app-ads.txt file, which is essentially to guarantee quality of ad providers, really, in apps, right, and in websites. Like this is something similar to the ads.txt file that's currently adopted industry-wide. But we should see an increase in that, and I recommend that everyone that has in-app ads to look into implementing into the app-ads.txt file, just to ensure that everybody's complying with any potential future regulations, or coming out of the gate with the right support, right, like the right standardization. And what we're going to see in 2020 specifically is that costs are going to increase when it comes to any kind of mobile ad, mobile ad campaigns, right? There's an election happening in the US in 2020. There's a lot of privacy laws that are impacting users. GDPR is maturing. Also, CCPA in California is coming on in the summer. So there's going to be a lot of changes in how we can leverage data, right? So mobile gives us that most direct path to that consumer. So we want to try to leverage that now so that we can create that loyalty, right? So something I wanted to call out that I think is a point of optimism is that while there's this big push for data privacy, right? People are very mindful of their data now. People feel like they have that leverage to control their digital destiny, right? But the good thing is out of the reasons people would give, right, as potential benefits for giving up their data, the 3 out of the top 5 involve things we do as an industry, right? Saving money. People are willing to give up their personal data 70% of the time to save money. That's what we all do, right? To get financial benefits like discounts or rewards. That's what we all do. And to make life more convenient. Again, that's something we're all doing together. So all this together tells me that even though people are talking about ad blocking and all these tools, to limit the data, the incentives are there to encourage the shoppers to stay engaged via mobile and to stay engaged with our affiliate channel. All right, Alexander, I know you have some predictions as well to share. What are you thinking?
Thank you very much. So we see the same trends as you see on your end. And I mentioned before that 67% of our traffic in the US on our platforms come from mobile, and we do expect that will keep growing. We have seen the trend slowly moving up from I remember when it was 50%, and now we've reached 67%. As I mentioned, UK is already at past the 70% mark. So we actually expect this to grow up to, I'm not sure how high, but maybe at some point in the near future, we will reach something like 75% of all our savvy customers coming to our platform, coming from a mobile device. And this obviously sends sort of a clear signal of where people are spending their time and what they're doing on their mobiles. So we have, I borrowed some stats from App Annie, which is a company they do a lot of research in this whole space. And they have provided some numbers where from 2019, they saw that 5.4 billion downloads of e-commerce apps. So apps where you can shop. So that could be the Amazon app, could be Wish, from a European perspective, sort of the ASOS, different brands and all their apps. And they saw in 2019 5.4 billion people downloaded these e-commerce apps. which is a growth year over year of 20%. So what that sort of gives us is that we believe this trend will continue. So we do believe that people will more and like switch more and more into shopping in app. The user experience is typically much better when you operate in an app, and it's easier for the brand and for the merchant to create a very nice experience in app. We also expect that people will spend more time on their phones. I think this is sort of a no-brainer. I know there's a lot of communication and health benefits of health organizations communicating about we should spend more time looking at each other and talking to one another face to face. But the reality is that people are spending more time on the phone. And I pulled out here as well a stat from the week of Black Friday and the following 2 weeks, where the consumers spend 2.5 hours in their e-commerce apps. So this is a growth of 40% from the year before, which is also, to us, sends a very clear signal that something very radical is happening in this space, and sort of supporting I think that was your opening statement, Ivan, that as people become very comfortable shopping in their apps.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we do believe that brands that invest in mobile will win. Brands that are good at investing in a good user experience on mobile or in app, they will win. We've seen that Nike's digital business, they grew by 42% in Q3 of 2019, and that was primarily driven by app and the mobile initiatives. So, and there's a lot of stuff is happening here in this segment here.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's something that's interesting too. I know that we definitely focus on advertisers and brands, right? But really, publishers also stand to gain a lot from this mobile, revolution, because then the publisher themselves can, expands their distribution avenue. And as a company, Rakuten Marketing is open to working with publishers, right? So if you are a publisher out there listening and you want to maybe use some of the same campaign activities that we run for our current advertisers, we can make you an advertiser. But I think it's really important to just kind of clarify for everyone, right? And you're going to do this in the next few slides, Alexander, is kind of give people some reasons why, right? Because we know that this commerce is happening. We know that, it's just not being tracked, right? So I think that as an affiliate industry that's based on partnerships and relationships and ensuring it's a win-win scenario, right? We definitely want to make sure that we get that piece of the puzzle better tracked, right?
Absolutely. So we've come up with 5 good reasons why especially as an advertiser, you should think of adopting tracking in your app. So what we do see today, and this is a little interesting, so we at Global Sales Group, we sort of believe a lot in transparency and trying to share as much data and performance reports with our advertisers that we work with across across the globe. And sometimes, especially for merchants which has very large app followings, they when we share these reports with them, they will notice that that the mobile conversion is significantly lower than that of desktop. And they often they'll usually ask us question, why is this? And typically this actually relates to the fact that, well, a lot of these sales we drive for you are simply not tracked. So they go into, these are customers that operate on their cell phone. They go to our website, they find a discount code, or they find there's a piece of content, they find a good deal, they go to the brand and they use this content, or they go and buy this deal, and then that sale just sort of gets lost because it ends up being, if that transaction is made in the app, it's not necessarily tracked. And this is obviously what we find that a shame, because there's a lot of potential here. So we do believe that affiliate marketeers and affiliate managers can boost their affiliate performance here a lot. We say up to 50%. That really obviously depends on how big is your app. But even if your app represents 20% of your sales, then there's a lot of, there's a lot to gain for your affiliate program here. Now, I brought out an example here, which is UK fashion retailer ASOS. They're not that big in the US as far as I'm aware, but we know that 58% of their sales, they happen inside their app. It's an excellent app, like it's quite a good experience. But obviously 58%, that's a lot. Now, gladly for ASOS and gladly for us, they are incentivizing us to drive sales to the mobile app, and they have in place app tracking. So we can really work with them on driving sales into that app. So I think the last point I wanted to really make here is that I think a lot of companies use compensation and sort of performance metrics and KPIs to compensate their employees. And if you're an affiliate manager and you are currently being compensated based on the performance of your channel, which is the affiliate marketing channel, if app is a big part of your business, then potentially you are missing out of a pretty big payout, because essentially a lot of the sales and performance that you and your efforts are driving, they're simply not recorded. So it just goes missing and it's not attributed correctly to your channel. So I think that is the first reason why one would want to invest into in-app tracking. Second, why not get the VIP status that you deserve? So obviously, I think this is true for every publisher out there. I can confirm that. It's true for most businesses. We have a tendency that when we operate and sort of we categorize our clients based on how important they are to us as a business. And we as a publisher obviously does that as well. It doesn't mean that we don't, like, we try and treat all our advertising partners well, but obviously it tends to be the biggest and the most valuable partnerships that tend to get access to the best of our spots. So now here on the slide, you can see, put a screenshot up here from our CNN coupons page, where essentially the top space, the very first image you see when you land on that page is an ad for Expedia. And obviously this space is not being offered to everyone. This is primarily offered to partners that that have a certain width and come, how to say this in a good way, but brands that really, brands that is ranked as important. And I think what we see here is that we have quite a few partners that we work with that could actually qualify to get access to these spots and VIP perks, as we like to call them, but they're simply not, because they have they are not tracking necessarily all the transactions that happens in their app. Now, so other perks here is editorial support, first line, there's a dedicated support. Like we see this a lot for Black Friday, where brands want to push deals to us that we upload on our pages sort of every hour, maybe every half an hour. If you're not, qualifying for that, you will not get access to that. And that is a shame if you have the potential to be in that league. Free social media exposure. We invest a lot in our partners. So we also run social media ads to drive even more traffic and boost their performance. But again, this has very much to do with the tracking that is in place. We run, and this is a new thing that's going to be launched very soon in the US as well, which is essentially we are running content marketing pieces that will be posted not just on our coupons domains under Business Insider and CNN, but on the actual website of say CNN, so on the main website on CNN, on the main website of Business Insider, these content pieces, we offer very good deals to our, to our partners here, and especially if you are enabled with in-app tracking, there is a lot of potential here that we can do these for much more favorable rates. Then of course there's senior account management and so on, right? So there's a lot of perks related to being a prioritized partner. Number 3, so I feel this is, I think we already established that the numbers are really clearly talking in favor of that mobile is growing. Like, I think that's quite clear. We see the trends all the time. We also know that people that shop in-app, they have a tendency to look at 4 times as many products as they do on a mobile web experience. For any advertiser and for any brand out there, that should be super, super powerful. We see that new users' return rates, people that come back and shop a second time, is twice as high for customers that use the app. We see average order value being about 1.5 times higher on the in-app versus mobile web. And we do see that conversion rates tends to be 3 times higher. So there's really, everything talks in favor of you having a very strong app. Now, the opportunity out there is that we as a publisher, and all other publishers out there in the market, we have a lot of valuable traffic, and we can actually help you drive this app strategy. We can actually help converting your mobile shoppers into app shoppers. And essentially, the way we do this is we can promote content, targeted mobile specific, and we can prompt people to install the app when they interact with this content. We can do mobile app specific deals that are only available in the app. So that way, really driving people to download the app and transact in the app. And all these are some of the features available in in-app tracking. So I would say sort of shout out there, really try and empower your publishers to help you grow that app of yours. Now, number 4, and this is the 4th reason why in-app tracking is important for you as a brand, is essentially that today if you are not enabled with in-app tracking, there's a great likelihood that you are operating in the blind. You're not fully in the blind, but the data you're looking at is skewed. And I've tried to sort of apply this analogy to imagine you are navigating with your Google Maps and you need to go from A to B, but then half of the screen is blacked out. Essentially, suddenly that route becomes, or that navigation, that experience becomes super, super tricky, and you end up doing, either you take a way too long route or you never reach your destination. And I feel like this really sort of tells very well the story of how we experience that a lot of marketers, and especially in affiliate marketing, is not necessarily spending their marketing budget correct. And a lot of this is related to not having access to the full picture. If 20, 30, 40% of your data is missing in terms of where your transactions are generated and how they came to be, then how are you supposed to really drive those marketing channels and invest in the right channels that will give you truly great return. Finally, and not at least, but treat your publishers fairly. I think we all know this, that if you were to go down to the supermarket and pick up a Coke, and then you find that it's half empty, then you will feel cheated, or you feel like this is not what I paid for. I think at the end of the day, affiliate marketing and sort of the greater deal of doing business is really, it's a lot about trust. So we do business with you because I trust that what you tell me and what you sell me is correct, and you trust that I will deliver on my promises. And this sort of mutual trust between publishers, between advertisers, between traders, customers. That trust exists, and that's really what makes everything go around. Sadly, when in-app tracking is not being adopted, we obviously see that this this trust level is being challenged because publishers are driving sales for advertisers that are not necessarily being tracked correctly or not being compensated correctly. And I think that was really sort of the 5 top points that why we from Global Savings Group think that you as a brand or you as an advertiser should think very hard about, enabling and looking into using in-app tracking.
Yeah, that's great. It's a good, and I really like that last point about ensuring that everybody is winning in the equation, right? Like the publishers are driving those sales and those installs, and it's just a matter of, let's turn on tracking so that we can get a proper picture. I think that the data and the recommendations, not only just from Rakuten Marketing, but also from an independent publisher here, Global Savings Group, and our interactions with all brands across, not only across Rakuten Marketing, but also, on other affiliate networks, right? That's another benefit Alexander has, is that he has data beyond just what Rakuten Marketing is doing. And I think it's clear that by, putting mobile higher in the priority list, it is a differentiator, right? It's a differentiator. It's a way to cut through the affiliate, noise as a premium partner, right? Alexander, I don't feel like I'm over exaggerating that point, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. We see the mobile channel being super, super critical. I don't think there's any doubts about that. Yeah. And we do also see that we do work with big partners, Expedia, Hotels.com, good examples of partners that are all adopting or enabled with in-app tracking. Mm-hmm. And we are driving a lot of their app growth. As I think anyone who's been I'm a big loyalist to Hotels.com. I don't know how that is for people on the line here, but there is, that user experience in the app is so great, and I'm very proud that we as a publisher can really help them drive those downloads and help people transact in the app and build that loyalty towards them as a brand. But obviously, this is something that we can only really do this and help them in this mobile strategy because they have app tracking enabled.
Yeah, loud and clear. All right, Aaron.
I think an awesome segue. So Alexander, thank you very much for setting up the background as to why this is extremely important to keep top of mind as we sort of look to grow and help our customers, both yourselves and all of our advertisers be successful. So how are we able to do that? So I wanted to give some insights into some of the capabilities that Rakuten Marketing is able to offer. A lot of this is going to be primarily driven to our advertisers, again, because the idea here being is that we need to work with our advertiser partners to be able to extend the tracking that is in place for their web and MWeb campaigns in order to extend those to mobile apps. So that's what I'll kind of be taking everyone through here today. So at a very high level, we offer a number of different solutions that allow our customers to extend their affiliate campaigns in mobile apps, right? So what does that actually mean? So we have capabilities that allow us to track app installations, app conversions, which may be sales, subscriptions, you name it. Doesn't really make a difference as to what it is that the advertiser defines as a monetizable conversion. We have that covered, and we can do so by way of a proprietary SDK offering or some of the interesting integrations that we have in place with a number of different third-party SDK platforms. And at the end of this, ideally what this will allow us to do is to help, support exactly all of the things that Alexander had touched on, which is at the end of the day, if we don't have visibility into the activity that is ending up in mobile app, we don't have any way to optimize and therefore improve and drive those conversion rates up. So with that said, Ivan, if you can pivot over to the next one. So Rakuten Marketing does have a SDK offering for our advertiser partners, so available today on both the iOS and Android platforms. Like I mentioned, gives us the capability to track any installs, in-app conversions, and then any custom in-app events. So in most cases, what we would tend to see is installs and the in-app conversion of a purchase is the general types of events that we can track. But we are able to offer some unique opportunities, such as like add to cart events if we're looking to help drive awareness. So those are the types of things that potentially could be in play as part of an SDK integration. With our SDK integration, we do have detailed reporting as part of that. So if you're an advertiser and you're used to seeing, or a publisher in that matter, if you're used to seeing information tracked at a SKU level, that same visibility exists with our SDK. And then we also have the ability to facilitate any type of deep linking functionality and extend that to the tracking process. So that's one of our options that we can make available to our advertisers as a means to enable in-app conversion tracking within the affiliate program. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, it sounds great, but I also work with a third party. So Ivan, if you can jump to the next slide. So we have integrations with all of these brands that you see here on the screen. So if you're working with a branch or an app supplier, we can very easily enable tracking through those systems and the integrations that we have in them to bring that data into the platform in the same way that we can with our native SDK integration. So think of it as little effort for a lot of value in extending that to the affiliate campaign. So that's a big one I want to point out there. So very easy to enable if you are working with one of these providers. So to kind of bundle it up, ideally what we want to ensure is happening in the mobile space is we want to keep in mind that the consumer and the experience that they receive is ideal. We don't want scenarios where a mobile consumer is being directed to a place that doesn't allow them to convert. So what we have done at Rakuten Marketing here is introduce some new linking behaviors that we call intelligent link routing that essentially allows us to control the flow of where a consumer arrives depending upon the state of their device. So ultimately, if you're an advertiser that has a form of mobile app tracking in place, we can essentially introduce this type of behavior seamlessly across the entire program so that depending upon the consumer, if they have the device installed, or excuse me, if they have the app installed on their device, we can directly send them into the app by way of the tracking links. If they don't have the app installed, we can send them into the App Store if need be in order to incentivize and drive adoption of your apps within the customer base there. Or if you don't have app tracking installed, we can sort of send you off or send the consumer off to the normal place that we would traditionally and allow them to interact with a mobile web. All the while, regardless of which path the consumer may take, key thing here is that we have tracking in place at each of those different endpoints that allow us to understand and capture the fact that installs are taking place, in-app conversions are taking place, or just conversions across an M website. And I think that's about it. So I guess Ivan, I'll kick it back to you to sort of summarize here if you'd like.
Yeah, and this is great, by the way. So I don't know if everybody on this call is aware that we have this intelligent link routing. I know that based on some conversations I've had the last few weeks at Affiliate Summit West with publishers, and since then, they're not, right? People are still not sure what Rakuten can do and can track. So I think that if we have publishers on the line, we definitely want to work together to ensure that advertisers are taking this more seriously, right? Telling them about these benefits of working with us, and we make it super easy to do so, right? And our SDK would be great, but you know what? We don't need our SDK installed in the consumer app. That just adds time and resources. We can do this. The majority of advertisers that are running mobile campaigns have one of those SDKs. We just have to integrate with it. It takes very little setup time, right? And if we don't have it on our list of supported SDKs, let us know, and Aaron and the team can go see if we're missing something crucial, right? So, and just to round out, publishers on this call as well can benefit from these features. We could essentially turn a publisher into an advertiser and help drive app campaigns, right? App install campaigns. And there's a lot of technology partners that I talk to that have cool out-of-the-box opportunities, whether it's push notifications or whether it's preloads on mobile devices. I mean, there's a lot of options out there for us to just test and see what comes in, right? So I think the future of mobile is very bright. I think that is it for us today. If you have an app or you want to do a CPI campaign with Rakuten Marketing, let's talk. If you have questions about Global Savings Group, be sure to reach out to Alexander. Aaron and I are going to be out at Dealmaker Scottsdale next week. Aaron's going to be doing a demo presentation similar to this there. So if you want to come talk shop, we're going to be there as well. So this is an exciting time. I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank Alexander for his time and Aaron for his time as well. We're hoping that you learned something new today and you have a more renewed resolve to bring mobile into the affiliate strategy this year and really grow together. So we have a Q&A window available on the Zoom interface. If anybody has any questions, feel free to throw the questions in there. I didn't see any come in, so I assume that the content was just too riveting to peel away. But if you have a question, please check the Q&A tab there in the Zoom interface and type in a question. So, but actually, I have a question actually for Aaron. Aaron, how are the mobile transactions displaying in reporting?
Oh yeah, awesome question, Ivan. So mobile transactions, just like any transactions that we receive from our advertisers or track as part of our integrations with advertisers, are surfaced in our reporting tools. So they ultimately just show up as another transaction that feeds to our commissioning engine and will be surfaced there. And then based on how you as a customer want to slice and dice that information, you can leverage the custom reporting capabilities of the platform to identify those transactions very specifically, or have those roll up into a standard report that you're already consuming.
That's great. And Alexander, does Global Savings Group offer any reporting outside of the affiliate metrics that we kind of provide as a network? Do you have additional insights you can share with these VIP advertisers that you're going to be getting here soon?
So we, yes, we do. I think that's the short answer. But yes, we can provide performance all the way down to sort of a voucher content level. So not just saying how well is the program performing, but actually looking at, okay, this particular code or this particular deal was performing so well. What kind of conversion rate, what kind of AOV are we driving here? What kind of platforms, where do these people come from? So we have a lot of details and a lot of deep dives we can do there. We're also happy to explain this to our advertisers and to our partners and sit down and walk them through the numbers if there should be any questions.
Great. And so I know that a topic that comes up at least once a week is TikTok. I don't know if any of us on this call are part of the TikTok craze. I got to admit, I do have TikTok installed on my phone. And for those that don't know, it is essentially Snapchat for the new generation. It's a way to share videos and get really creative with video editing. But, like any other social media platform, advertisers and marketers already start salivating for opportunities, right? So I don't know if either of you have any experience with TikTok or if you think that TikTok is going to be a viable channel for affiliate, but I would love any thoughts you have on TikTok or any other social media apps.
Was that a question out to myself?
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of so I'm not a user of TikTok actually, but my wife is in marketing as well, and she's been experimenting a lot with the TikTok app. So I'm every night put up for half an hour of TikTok videos, sort of being streamed directly out of the phone screen. I think it's an incredible medium, and I'm very amazed to see what's coming out of it. What I'm impressed with there is the amount of followers that individuals with very few videos can manage to accumulate in a very, very short time span. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely something that we here are looking into as well. We have not quite cracked it yet, but if we do, then we will be very quick to be out there and tell people about it. That is for sure.
What about you, Aaron? You have any experience with TikTok?
Yeah, unfortunately, no, I'm not a TikTok user myself either. But I am hearing a lot of good things with it. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for and see what sort of opportunities we're able to gain from that from a marketing standpoint. So interested to see how that sort of plays out.
Yeah, it's funny because apparently all you have to do to be successful on TikTok is have a dance, a unique dance. And that's it. That's all I've learned so far. I have two 10-year-old daughters, and they are TikTok masters. So it's very interesting app to see how they're learning, like how to edit videos and how to tell stories. That part is kind of cool, but but you're right. It's so fast to grow a following. It's a video can go super viral in a day, and it's ridiculous. It's crazy. I never realized that social media platform could really disseminate that fast. So I'm excited to see how they're gonna expand their capabilities in the future here to support performance marketing or ads in addition to what they have already, because they do have an ad offering. It's just not necessarily anything available through the affiliate channel. So if anybody on this call has a connection at TikTok, let's figure this out together. It's a big captive audience out there. All right. So I think we're good. No questions came in the Q&A. We're on time anyways. So again, thank you so much for everyone that came out to listen to us kind of share our thoughts on the importance of mobile and why we cannot afford to ignore it in affiliate anymore. So advertisers, let's get on board with tracking. Publishers, let's work up ways to create campaigns, right? So Alexander, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate having a partner like you that's willing to hop on a call to do this. And Aaron, I know you're a busy man and it's early for you over in the West Coast, so I really appreciate your support. We're very excited for mobile, and thanks to everyone, and have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks everyone. And Ivan, great job emceeing the webinar.
Yeah, go team. All right, everyone.
All right.
Take care.